Hey everyone, welcome back to Life After Sunday, the midweek mic. This is episode 5 called Worship is a Weapon.
Yeah.
We're excited. This was a good message.
Oh my gosh, I love worship.
Yeah, so
It
good.
is my favorite. And I've been thinking like for a few weeks, I really wanted to hear a message about worship.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Like
How
we've been
fun.
in mental health battles for like weeks in our sermons.
Yeah, it's been deep stuff.
Yeah.
So to have something
Uplifting,
lighter and
exciting. And
yeah,
worship, as we will find out, gets us through those times.
right.
Right?
Yeah.
So Matthew was the speaker, not the author of the chapter.
Not the disciple. He's
But-
the disciple.
He is.
Okay.
But no,
Sorry.
not the original. So Matthew, he went into talking about that we were created to worship.
Yeah.
And that was what we were created to do.
Mhm.
So that's probably where we just could stop.
That's the base of the message. Yeah, that's it. That's all we have to say. No, just kidding.
Mhm.
He had some bullet points for us, which we appreciate as
Oh my gosh.
podcasters. But it all comes down to
That was so weird.
What?
You called us podcasters.
Podcasters.
I just don't feel like
Is there a different name I should say?
no, but that's the real name, but
It is weird that that's what we are.
I don't think
But
just
we're trying to be podcasters.
yeah.
We have microphones, so I feel like
Oh,
it's legit.
is that what it is that all it takes?
Yeah.
Oh,
To seem like being in a camera. But so we're created for worship to glorify God.
and it's a little bit of a battle even when you are in worship. So if you're at church and you're worshiping, it doesn't mean that your worship is actually glorifying God. It's where your mindset is.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what he was going into in the beginning is we have this worship and you can come into worship and you have all these things that are going on in your life. Let's say you are going through treatments of cancer, you're going through financial problems, maybe relationship problems, anything that you are feeling that's really getting you down, you bring it to church, which you should, and cast your cares. Yeah. And it's not like you can't do that, but it's when your focus in worship is just on your problems.
Yeah. Instead of giving God glory, because that's what worship is to glorify God because he's always worthy. So
Right. So worship isn't about us. I mean,
Right.
the angels weren't around the throne room in Isaiah singing, "Woe is me, I'm not God." You know, oh, I wish I had that from my little seat here. Isn't that great?
that's good because I gotta check myself sometimes
Mhm.
when I go to church and I'm like, the morning was rough, I'm in a bad mood, I don't feel like it. Who cares what I feel like? It's not about me.
Yeah.
But I
And
make it about me all the time. I'm like, right.
it's crazy.
Stand here and pout a little bit.
Because I do notice that, like, when I feel that way, you know, it's just like a hard morning. Maybe
Yeah.
the coffee didn't kick in.
Kids were fighting, so you were screaming in the car.
Boy, does that happen. I mean,
Yeah.
how many times are we going to say that in an episode, though?
Well, it's real life.
It's real life.
And
The
there's
kids
4 of
just
them,
always
so-
fighting in the car.
Yeah.
It's just part of
Yeah.
our lives.
Yeah.
And so we have this attitude when we're going into church sometimes where it's like, okay, I'm just going to be here to be here. I just want to check it off the box. I want to just check off that I am at church. I'm also on the worship team. So then I'm just like, okay, I'm going to just lead this song just to lead it. You know, that's all I'm going to do. Let's try to get through Sunday. And then, you know, my bed is calling me, best friend.
A Sunday nap.
I just
in-
want to take a nap.
fix the spot.
So I'll get there and then, you know, the music will start and then I'll start singing. And first I'm like, maybe like, and then like, so, you know, I'm like up there, my hands are up and I'm like, it's like it's just, it shifts.
Yeah.
It shifts the atmosphere. It shifts your mindset.
Yeah.
It shifts your whole being. I even heard that, you know, you nurses or doctors, whoever's out there can check me on it. And if I'm wrong, I'm super sorry. But I remember reading somewhere, I think, that when you do lift your hands, there is better blood flow back to the heart. But also, I remember my coaches, when I was in high school, they would tell you not to lean over. They would
Yeah.
tell you to raise your hands and do this because, like, it's better breathing due to the expansion in your chest cavity.
It's like God created you for this.
So God created you for you to raise your hands. Don't just do it for health benefits. There's spiritual benefits
Yeah.
because you do raise your hands.
Should we talk about like that?
Yeah.
If someone's not familiar with that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Why do we raise our hands in worship? I think it's like surrender. Like you're opening your hands so you can receive from God, but also like reaching out to him in surrender, like lifting your stuff off to give to him, you know?
Yeah. I always think of I'm ready to receive whatever
Yes.
it is you want
Like
me
your
to
hands
have.
are open so you can
Yeah.
receive something.
I know that the presence of the Lord will fill the room when you worship, because we're going to get into that. And like I raise my hands and like wanting to release,
Yeah.
like it just makes me have like a better situation in my worship. Like I feel like I'm surrendering it. I'm like giving it to God, but I'm also reaching out as like,
Yeah.
here I am.
And because I think of like a little kid, they see their parent and they reach up to be held, you know, and that's what we're doing. So God.
And there's like the different levels. You have like the down here, up here, you have the touchdown, you have the half you my arms are tired, but I still want to praise. You know, there's a whole bunch of different things, but I give it to you.
Yeah.
I always think of that too, but you also want to make sure that you're not just doing it just to do it.
Yeah. It's not a show.
That's something I struggled with. Like when I was asked to join the worship team, worship is one of my favorite things. And it's my connection, I think, with God. I just feel so connected. And when I'm worshiping, sorry for those who are around me when I am at worship, like I'm super loud, but it's just like I can feel things just like releasing from my lungs when I sing at the top of them. You know, I just feel off of my heart the troubles and the worries that were there. And I can just feel God just like filling me with more life, more breath. And I can just focus on him and I can feel his glory and his presence when I sing. So I'm going to do it at the top of my lungs. They say make a joyful noise. Sometimes it's more joyful of a noise than a nice noise. So, but you have these moments where you just like sing at the top of your lungs. And
I think like everything in Christianity, it comes down to the posture of your heart when you're doing these things.
When I was asked to do the worship team, I was like, I don't want to go up there where I'm in front of people because I also like to sit in the back because I don't know, I just sit.
You don't want it to be about you.
Right.
You know, you didn't want to think
worship's not about.
Oh, Dwayne's up there because he thinks he's a good singer. You know?
So I didn't want to be up there and I didn't want to put my hands up thinking people thought I was trying, put on a performance.
Yeah, I know you really like stressed about that.
And so I just did not want to be in front of people in any aspect of church because I don't ever want to seem like I'm putting on a performance.
Yeah, like it's not for our glory, but for God's glory.
Yeah.
But I think when that is your heart, like if you're worried about that stuff, then you're in the right place, you know, and people know that it's genuine.
Right. And who cares what others are thinking?
Yeah.
You're
there to worship Jesus.
You're there to worship God. It's about him. It's not about you, like we've said. So lift those hands up. Yeah. Even if
a lot of it is getting out of your own head. Like I've struggled a long time with being able to lift my hands because I was like, what are they thinking behind me? They can see me. Do I look stupid?
Right.
You know,
I remember going.
Who cares? No one's looking at you.
We would go to youth conferences when I was a kid. And I remember like it's just something about being in a room with other like-minded, like
so good
teenagers, I guess.
So
and
powerful,
like everybody's in the worship and stuff. And then you go back to your church. And then unfortunately it was like the other youth kids were like back to their old ways. They weren't like really into the worship as they were.
So you felt like on fire and then you came back to home church and then it was just like.
Yeah. And it wasn't like the adults weren't doing it. It was just like.
It's
my peers. Yeah. Like, you got peer pressure.
Yeah.
Not to do that. Where I think as you get older as an adult, you're like, I have peer pressure to lift my hands. And we're not saying that don't do whatever is moving you.
But don't think that people are staring at you and judging what you're doing. Like everyone should be focused on God during worship and not on you.
Yeah.
So if someone's looking at you and saying like, "Oh, she looks stupid,"
that's their hands up,
then
they have something.
They're in the wrong space, and you don't worry about it. You know,
wrong headspace.
You focus on where you're at with God.
So make sure that like God is the center. So that goes back to what he was talking about. Is it's not about you. It's not about your worries. It's not about what's out there, and it's not to downplay anything that you're going through. Right. It is valid, but it shouldn't be your focus when you're in worship. Your focus is on the victory that's going to come because God is good. God is glory. So you're going to praise him in those moments. Praise him when you're on the mountain, praise him in the valley.
I knew you were
I
gonna
feel like I'm just going to quote this the whole entire time.
say-
But you're going to keep praising no matter what. You're going to focus on him. And the little metaphor that he used that I just thought was clever, so good job, Matthew, was just he was talking about when you do those cares, when you focus on your cares, you focus on your problems, and they become kings of your heart, but they're just gestures.
Mhm.
And when they're just gestures, it makes you look like a fool.
Yeah.
So you want the King of Kings over yourself.
Right.
You want the King of Kings over your heart.
Yeah.
You want to be glorifying and praising the King of Kings.
Don't make your problems or circumstances bigger than the greatness of God.
And how many times do we do that when we get to worship?
For sure.
You know,
You're so focused on,
the problem.
yeah, or just everything in your life. You know, you can't shut your mind off,
Mm-hmm.
but you gotta work to get in that space of, I'm here to be with Jesus right now, you know?
So sometimes when I'm in those headspaces where it's like my problem is so overwhelming and so big, and that was another thing that came up was overwhelming.
Yeah.
You know, life does get overwhelming, and it's all that can consume your head. So I do understand getting into worship, and you know that is on your mind, and you're like presenting that. But once you present that, release it.
Yeah.
Let
Like,
God have it.
Don't dwell on it.
Send it up. And receive what he wants for you, the blessings he wants for you, the glory that he is
The peace that
bestowing
he
on you.
has for you.
Yeah. So then you can focus on saying, Holy, holy, holy are you, Lord God Almighty. You know, that is what we're meant to be praising.
No matter what.
No matter what. He's
God is always good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that went into more of his first bullet point was praises tear down walls in our lives.
Yeah. So we talked about Jericho, like literal walls came down because of praise.
Just tell the full story for anybody who doesn't.
They were told to. Do you remember the song Joshua fought the battle of Jericho?
Man,
that was my sister's favorite.
We're gonna have to do a soundtrack. Every song that you sing on an episode.
I shouldn't be singing up here every time. But he had to march around Jericho for 7 days with like specific instructions on how many times to walk around and to not do anything else until the last day, the 7th day. After they walked around 7 times, then they were to blow the trumpets and then shout, have like a shout battle cry, you know?
Yeah.
And then the walls will come down.
And
they would have victory.
Just imagine if that's the tactic that you're given.
What do you feel stupid? Like, I'm sure there's soldiers posted at this wall to stop you from coming in, and they're like, what are those people doing walking around over and over?
No. Use a different voice. Use
I know what you want me to do.
A French P accent, please.
If you know Veggie Tales, there was a movie of this that I loved in my childhood. And so the guards that were sitting on the wall were little peas and they had French accents. I don't know why they were French.
French pea, right? Is that something?
Is that a thing?
French pea soup? Or is it French
I
onion?
never heard. Guys, it's French onion. French pea soup. No.
We're gonna have to edit that.
But there are these peas, and I can see they had like gladiator helmets.
I swear there's something called French peas. I wish I could.
We're gonna have to Google it.
If I do find out, I'm putting it on this, and it's not come up with it says Dwayne,
you find it for your sake. But I'm pretty sure there's not. But these were French peas sitting on top of the wall. They have like their little guard helmet on, and they were like, "You will not knock down that wall!" And they like taunt the Israelites walking around, and they're just. I remember them.
Guys, if you've never watched that,
it's good.
It's my favorite.
I'm sure you can find it somewhere.
Just those peas always crack me up. I think they're in other episodes of things, and I just like love them.
They're funny.
So anyway, so we have these soldiers that are telling them, "You have gotten all down our wall." I'm not good.
I'm better at it.
Go on.
But that's all. So they listen, they shout, and blow the trumpets the last day, and the walls come down, and that was their victory. So when I thought about this, I'm like, you would look really ridiculous not trying to climb the wall. You're not shooting arrows at the guards. Like, you're marching around.
You feel like you're not doing anything.
Saying nothing. Yeah, you probably looked and felt stupid, you know? But how many times does God ask us to do something that might look stupid in the physical realm, but in the spiritual realm, you are like, winning.
Yeah. So, like, here, you feel like you're not doing anything, right?
You might not see it,
Yeah.
but you don't know. And I think of my dad too, because he had a sword. If you know him, he had a sword. And like God asked him many times to travel somewhere and like do things with this sword that probably looked super ridiculous. So he like went to one of the fault lines one time and stuck it in there. He went to one of the oceans one time and stuck it in. He didn't know why. He just felt like God was telling him to do that and looked probably crazy.
Guys,
And
I'll admit,
it looked
I was
crazy.
one of those people who was like, he's
See?
crazy.
Yeah. And he
Um,
didn't know why to do it, but he was like, I feel like God's telling me to do this, so I'm gonna
right.
do it. Like, and you don't know. You don't
Hey,
know what it did.
let's just admit there's growth
Yeah.
as we learn, you know.
Yeah.
And he did preach on that, and I learned from it. Maybe that will come in a different podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you do things that look crazy.
Or like you're prompted to pray for somebody at the store. You probably look crazy, you know? Like, why is this person coming up to ask me for
Definitely.
prayer, you know?
Yeah.
But you don't know what's going on. You don't see the big picture. You don't see what God sees,
Yeah.
you know?
And so back to the topic of praise. So when we're praising, we might think that it's not really doing anything.
Yeah.
You know, it's just more there for me to make me feel good. I love a good beat or I love a
Yeah.
little lyric.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna sing it and I'm gonna be happy about it. And it's just gonna make me feel good. But we see in this story that there is a spiritual realm that is moving as you praise,
Yeah.
as you know, play those instruments. It didn't say that they played them well, right? It just said they shouted and
Blew the
like
trumpet.
I'm just thinking they're all like, "Ah," and then like I just wish I could see that.
Yeah.
Like just see the
Maybe when you get to heaven, there's like a movie you can watch.
a reel
Yeah.
of like the highlights.
Maybe. Yeah.
That would be great.
That'd be cool.
That would be one of the things that and the Red Sea.
Yeah. That'd be wild.
Prince of Egypt when that shows in the oh my
So good.
gosh.
That's a great movie.
Great movie.
Great movie. Great soundtrack. I'm not gonna sing it right now.
I'll be Mariah, you be Whitney.
Anyways.
No, but I'm just thinking like he kind of mentioned this too about like the wall. So like growing up, I heard about the walls of Jericho
Yeah.
from the Veggie Tales or from like I don't remember Sunday school if you ever had like the flashcards that show like the pictures of like the people and like so like you're gonna like animated illustrated wall, right? It just looks like a normal wall and you're like, eh. But he like went into description about it and just with how massive it was, how deep it was, how high and wide and
That
there
there were
was
like
2 walls and
there's like 3 tiers of walls, and each one was like bigger, and it you think
That
the
a
scale
kill-
of that to actually see
he named one called a kill zone or something.
kill box.
Kill
That
box
was the space between I think the first two where like if you're in there, the guards can like get you because you're
sounded scary.
you're stuck there, you know. But to actually be there and see that, and like you're Joshua, and you're like, am I gonna really march around this and it's gonna fall
Like
down?
I'm just marching.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like anything.
Like unless an earthquake comes and shakes this thing down, like
Mhm.
what's actually gonna happen?
And you know what's so funny is people try to like downplay the miracles of God in the Bible. Like even with like the parting of the Red Sea, they say, oh, like a wind blew and like hit the sea in the right spot. And they'll so with this they'll say, oh, the frequencies of the people marching and then the frequency of them like singing and praising and whatever their instruments was at the right moment where I was like, are you kidding me? That's a miracle.
Yeah.
I don't care
And
if you
even
can
if that's what was
scientifically
happening,
mention
all
something.
of that lining up
Yeah.
perfectly to knock down
Come
this
on.
fortress is a miracle.
Yeah. Do you think I'm going to walk around our house might just knock down by the wind, but
We have an old crooked house.
a fortified area, 3 layers with a kill box.
Yeah.
Do you think I'm going to walk around that 7 million times and my, my steps are going to make it come down to me
Yeah.
going outside a wall? It's just no.
You probably-
Unless God told me to do that and I'm being obedient.
Yeah.
So that's where it was also is the obedience of those people. So
Yeah.
for those 7 days they had to stay silent. That's hard.
It would be hard to do.
I mean, you're walking around this really large city.
Repeatedly. You're probably bored.
Probably takes hours, the whole day. I
Yeah.
don't know, but you're doing this and you can't talk at all.
it's probably hot. You're probably carrying something. I
You
don't
can't
know.
do heat.
I can't do heat. I would complain the whole time. I'd be like,
This weekend was that
yeah, your brother got married this weekend, and it was really only like 80 degrees, but the sun was on full blast, and it was an
Felt like
outside ceremony,
1,000.
and I was sweating real bad all day,
We were all sweating.
and I kept saying, "Why did Devin make it to that
It was
wedding?"
still a beautiful wedding.
It was beautiful.
But
The
it was
love
just
of it all was
super
beautiful, but
hot.
I
It was
hot.
very
I was a hot
hot.
lady.
So you would have complained.
So I would complain marching around Jericho.
Yeah, I
I'd
went
be
the
like,
opposite way. Like
why is the sun out? I'm way too hot for this.
I was like, I wouldn't be able to say anything that I saw that whole time. Like, you know, like somebody tripped, like, did you just see Jehoshaphat trip? Like, you know, like I couldn't say that.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to keep it to
I'm
yourself.
gonna be like, are you okay, Jehoshaphat?
Right.
You tripped.
Yeah. It would be hard, but they were obedient and they were able to do it. And then victory was theirs, you know?
Yeah.
Wham.
So, I mean, be obedient in the worship that we do. Make
Yeah.
sure it's your heart is postured to the right things.
Mhm. I think I thought of this earlier and I forgot to say it, but how stupid this sounds too. Like I'm embarrassed to say, but have you ever had the worship team plays a song and you're like, I don't really like this song? Like, who am I to say that? And it's not about me at all. I'm
Yeah.
embarrassed that I said that, and I felt that way sometimes. You know?
And it might not be the song for you,
Yeah.
but it's the song for somebody else. Or
Yes. And it's all the purpose of it is for him. Like it's not for me. You're not singing to please me.
Yeah.
You know?
it's probably the right song
Like how
that
self-centered.
needs to come in. And if everybody felt that way and we just catered to our needs or what we wanted.
I'm like, Stacey, these are the songs I want you to sing today because those are my faves. You know?
To be honest, there are songs that we sing, and it's usually the ones I sing because I hear it so often that I'm like,
But like, I feel like there's power in the songs that are like picked for that day. You know, like if Stacey had a thought,
there are.
and then usually the songs end up aligning with the message, or someone gets a word about that, or it speaks to someone who needed it. So it's
Yeah.
like God saying what songs need to be sung that day.
It happens a
and
lot.
then here we are being like, oh no, it's not my favorite. I'm not gonna sing along.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, how
we're not
crazy.
in talks with each other, so I've given a few messages, you've given a message.
Mhm.
Like, you don't call Stacey up and say, "Hey, this is my message. Could you cater the
Yeah.
songs around?"
It just happens because God
Yeah.
has it all orchestrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, God is in those moments. So, the songs that he picked for that day,
Yeah.
if you don't like them, sing even
Color
louder.
on that. Yeah.
Sing louder.
It's not about us at all.
No.
Doesn't matter if it's not my favorite.
So when I'm in those situations where I'm not feeling it, and then next thing you know, I start praising and worshiping.
Yeah.
It does change, and you
Yeah.
feel stupid at first, but then you're like, sorry, and now I'm here to glorify you.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
holy, holy, holy.
Like check your attitude at the door. You know.
Yeah. So we went from, you know, tearing down those walls. So it does tear down the walls, and you know, spiritual walls too. I think about like the ones that keep us from connecting with God or connecting with others.
Maybe you had a bad week or you did some things that you were ashamed of. So you go to church maybe guarded, like I'm not even worthy to be here or to worship, you know, and you put the walls up. And I think if you can get over that mentally and just start offering yourself to him,
It
being
tears
like,
down those walls.
sorry, you know,
Yeah.
I messed up, but I'm here.
So your
love you.
focus
Yeah.
should be on the wall, but your focus should be beyond the wall to where God's at, to the victory. And sometimes we just focus on that wall and we're just like, it's too big, it's too wide. I'm just going to stay here.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that's the enemy's tactic, is to keep us separated from God and to keep separated from each other.
Absolutely.
Because we're supposed to love God and love people. And we just went to worship. What was that, Wednesday, Thursday?
Thursday night.
First of all, concert people, when you plan the concerts,
Can you not do it on the weekend?
could you not do it on the weekday? The
I'm
people,
still tired from
yeah, the people who are going work, and they had to work to buy the ticket, and then they have work that night still, or that day, and the next day. So could you make it on the weekend?
No, it's okay. We went and saw Brandon Lake and Phil Wickham
It's still really
and
amazing.
Josiah Queen, and it was so good. We're singing to God with 17,000 other people.
That, and you felt so connected.
So good. Yeah.
you
You're
know,
all there with one goal to worship God. And it was like
hmm
so good to be in those moments.
I just love it.
Nothing else matters. Like you can forget everything and you're just there,
Yeah. And it's a
So
glimpse
good.
into like
Heaven.
what it's going to be like. So I just imagine like, okay, so there's the arena,
Mhm.
right? And this is how I think of the angels in that chapter in Isaiah,
Yeah.
where they're like circled around God and the throne. And then like I just think of like the throne is right there,
Yeah.
and there's all these people,
Yeah.
and we're praising, we're worshiping, and we're looking up, and we're looking towards God,
Yeah.
and we're singing His praises and how glory He is, and how holy and how amazing, and it's just like a
Ooh,
glimpse.
it's giving me chills.
Like
Yeah.
that's what we're gonna do, and it's just yeah, it gives you chills when you think of it, and you're in that room. And I love to just like stop and look around.
Yeah.
I love
Uh-huh.
looking. I love people watching. First of all, like
I do.
you and I've been on dates where we sit on the same side of the bench and we look.
We don't talk. We just like watch everybody.
Yeah, people probably think we're like
Creepers.
relationships falling down the hill, but it's not. We love it. And then so like I just like watching these people and not watching to see who has their hand up or whatever, but I'm looking like just the joy that are on some
Yeah.
people's faces, or you see like the tears that they're having breakthrough at that moment because
And like they're just meeting with God right now. And
they're
it's just
praising
so cool.
Him, and
Yeah.
He's tearing down those walls. He's taking care of those cares because they're obedient and praising Him. So
So good.
it,
There was
it's
this little girl behind us, like
oh
screaming to "Homesick for Heaven" by Phil Wickham, and I was like, that melted my heart. It was so cute.
I love little
It was
kids when
so
they're
sweet.
singing.
She was just saying at the top of her lungs,
Mhm.
like, oh,
And we like
so
looked
good.
back and we smiled. And
Yeah. It just made my heart happy.
it did. But then that goes into his second bullet point, which was praise is our defense.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean the story that he talked about was in Second Chronicles,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
and it was
Second Chronicles 20.
good. So if you want to go read it, it's a really long chapter, so we're not going to. We'll give you the highlights. But Jehoshaphat was leading an army,
Mhm.
and the army was smaller, and there was multiple larger armies. And like just like any good army would, they sent out their worshipers,
Yeah. With the worst person in the front line, always.
put the musicians,
Yeah.
And when you think of musician, you don't think of like the strong, stoic, like muscle men who are gonna you think like the hippie with like long hair. I guess Brandon Lee.
Smaller stature, maybe.
But you look tall.
Very big, yeah.
Yeah. But like you think of like these
But
little,
they're not like the scariest looking big
No.
people with swords,
if
They're
you
you're
were
gonna walk
like
out with a harp and the enemy's gonna be like, what are you
Yeah.
doing?
if I'm going out to an army,
Yeah.
if I'm a soldier and I'm in the army and they like, okay, here's your guitar, I'd be like, cool. Like
They all get shot.
I'm
right
just
away.
gonna lay down and die. Like it's not gonna. Well, first of all, I only know the E chord.
Yeah, you don't have to learn.
I have a banjo too, and I've never picked it up. I know. Steph took my picture with me in the banjo
I'm
because
salty about the
she said in a year it's gonna come up as a memory, and she wants me to play her a song. And I'm
I
not
feel
there.
like it's already been 2 months or something. 3 months, maybe.
3.
We have
Guys,
9 months to go to learn banjo.
I bite up
Anyways,
more than
we're
I
way off
should.
topic. But so Jehoshaphat had this small army. He's up against these big guys. He sends out the worshipers first.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
So then the worshipers worship, and then the enemies, the enemy armies, they turn on each other.
Yeah.
They're confused,
And they wipe each other out completely.
and in that chaos, they kill each other.
Yeah. So then Jehoshaphat doesn't even have to fight anybody.
So it, again, being applicable to situations that are realistic to us, because we're not in personal armies as much.
Yeah.
But even like the battles that are in
goodness.
the world,
Yeah.
if you think of it, what popped into my mind was the verse that talks about our battles aren't flesh and bone,
Flesh and blood.
that
Mhm.
they're spiritual.
Yeah.
So as you can see from this, like there was a spiritual battle in there. They couldn't see it. They did their worship, and then that caused a physical reaction.
Yeah.
That what you saw.
That's good.
So we have these battles that are showing up. Like it might be against other people. It might be, financial battles. It could be a literal army. It could be political divides, all these things that we have in the world. And we know that there is an enemy and there is a spiritual realm behind it. I know there will be people who might not think of that there is a spiritual realm, but we as Christians know that there are spiritual battles in the unseen.
For sure.
So when we have, these battles, we should know that when we worship, it's causing a stirring in the spiritual realm. A good example would be when David plays his lyre, which is like a small harp.
Yep.
You
It just
kinda-
sounded weird when you said
I know,
live.
because I'm not like really confident with it, but it's like not
You
an
calling me a liar?
it's not an instrument that you like sing all the time. Thanks, Steph.
Sorry, go ahead.
So it's just a small little harp. So he's playing a small little harp, we'll say. And King Saul has demon inflicted. So
Yeah.
he plays the song and it allows Saul to relax and it causes the spirit to leave. So we see right there that
Yeah. I think of like if I'm in a bad mood and I'm griping about housework and the kitchen's a mess, I'll put on like while I'm washing dishes, just put some worship music on. And instead of being like, yeah, look at this big mess, everybody left this for me. And I'm like, thankful that I have a family to wash dishes for. Thankful that we have food. Like it just changes your perspective. Changes the mood, changes the atmosphere.
Yeah. And so I think when we are headed into battles that we know that are coming, like how many of us start our days going to work and we're like, it's just going to be a rough one.
Yeah.
We're, going into surgeries, going into chemo treatments, going into anything where you're going to need a little extra.
Going into like
what you
conflict with
have.
somebody. Yeah. Yeah.
So go into it with worship. Worship the victory that comes out of it. Because like we said in the last podcast, even if that is physical death here on earth,
You're still winning in
it's
heaven.
an abundant life after. So I know when I would go to work, I would listen to podcasts and I would do worship and listen to music and I would feel ready for the day. But then like the day sometimes would take over. So then on your ride home, I would start the ride home being like, I do not want to do anything. I do not want to go home. I don't want to.
Kind of defeated.
Yeah. And I would put some worship music on and I'd sing and I would full on,
belting it out
at the top of my lungs, worshiping this magnificent God who's on my side. So I worship him.
Yeah.
Kind of moment. So you just end your drive, you pull into the driveway, you're a whole different person.
Yeah.
You're lighter. You have the peace of God. You can bring God into your home, into the situations, and it just makes such a better position for yourself.
Absolutely.
And for just your spiritual walk with God.
And your family. Like they reap the benefits too.
You're probably happy.
If you're coming home with peace that helps,
You're probably happy that I did not bring that rain cloud to the house.
Yeah.
So those moments, just like know that you have a weapon. I think people forget that, that is a defensive tactic that we have that we don't have to lay back and take.
Don't brush it off like it's nothing. Like it's a powerful thing.
And, prayer does offer a way for us to communicate and to give but there's just something about singing, right? There's something about music that's just like gets it out. And I know people have prayers, but sometimes, the prayers, I just can't think of anything to say during a prayer.
Yeah, so it's easier to like sing your heart out.
Yeah, because the lyrics are already there. There's some lyrics that just like touch you and penetrate your heart the way that you can't think of in your own mind. So,
and I think it's always an emotional response to music that it kind of pulls you into get your heart stirring in the right spot,
So I think of even like gratitude, like when that part that says like, there's don't be like afraid, like the
Yeah.
lion in your lungs or whatever. You know, I always feel that because I'm like, because I am loud when I sing, I get bashful, and I'm like, I don't want to, you know, be too loud. But then when that comes on, boy, do I
You're
let it
like, here I
release.
am, let it all
I'm
out.
pretty sure the whole worship team was like, oh gosh, there it goes again, you know.
No, yeah.
But so yeah, so worship is a weapon that we can use.
Yeah.
It's a something that we have in our arsenal
Mhm.
to get out. So
Right.
so that was the second point, and then the third point was.
Praise breaks us out.
So do you want to like go into that then?
Yeah, let's talk about the Bible story that Matthew talked about for this. Paul and Silas in prison,
Mm-hmm.
but kind of starting before that, the reason they were in prison, there was a girl, I don't know how old she was or if it said, but she was like demon possessed and having the power through that to do fortune telling.
Mm-hmm.
So she was a slave and owned by people who were profiting off of her fortune telling. So Paul and Silas come and they set her free. They get the demon out of her, but then she's not able to make her owners money anymore. So they're mad about it, obviously. And Paul and Silas, instead of being like thanked for freeing this woman from demons, they get thrown into prison. While they're
That's still happening today. I mean, like
oh
greed.
yeah,
Greed is the main source of it, right?
yeah.
So
So many things in this world go back to money and greed and people just trying to make a profit off of things.
oh yeah,
you know?
even if it means it is demon possessed right
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
or leading people down the wrong path,
Right.
harmful.
Yeah.
You know, not even spiritually, but
Doesn't matter if it makes money, you know?
yeah,
That's
just
kind of the
money
thought.
is what makes the world go round, right?
But then Paul and Silas are in prison and they worship while they're in there, which is great that you can be in like one of the worst places and still find it in your heart to say, God is worthy, here's our worship, you know? But their worship, there's an earthquake and then the prison doors are opened. So they could be free to go. And the guard walks in, they don't go. The guard walks in though thinking like, oh my gosh, I've lost all the prisoners. I'm going to take my own life because I'll be killed for this. But he sees that everybody stayed. And that brings him to salvation and also his family. So Paul and Silas just being obedient, you know,
Right.
doing the right thing and him witnessing all of that brought them to Christ, which is really
So
cool.
it's, you know, praise doesn't only set you free, it sets others around you free.
Absolutely.
When you praise and you worship, the people of the world will see you
Yeah.
and they will be led. Because when you worship, the room fills with God.
And you can feel that. I feel that like in church sometimes, like you can feel the presence of God enter the room. I feel like this might sound weird, but sometimes there's like extra voices. But like angels are singing with us sometimes, I feel like, you know, like you can feel and you like see movement and you see people being touched and you know God's in the room with us, you know.
Like the presence of God was filled in the room when Solomon, the temple, the cloud of God was in the room. People would think that is crazy if they've never
Oh yeah,
experienced it.
it might look
I
crazy.
mean, people are probably listening now and like,
Thinking
whoa,
we're crazy.
they're getting crazy. It's going to get crazier. So we can set people free through our worship. We are set free through our worship. And that's what that story was about, was just how the Spirit of God moves even in the darkest times that we're in, when we praise and we worship Him through those times. So it goes back to, you know, those Sundays where we ain't feeling it.
Yeah.
You know, we praise and we worship through the tough times.
Right.
So, so we've established that praise and worship and music have a strong effect in the spiritual realm. And when we are listening and dancing and praising and singing to music that has the adoration for God and the creation that He's made, it doesn't even have to be directly Christian-based music. It could just be music that celebrates, you know, love between people or relationships and just the beauty that is in the world, you know.
Yeah.
When you sing and you worship and you partake in that, it is glorifying God and God accepts it as worship. But on the other hand, I heard or I saw a short from another podcast. It was Candace Cameron Bure.
Mm-hmm.
She had a podcast, and there was a guest on there. I don't know who it was. I think you may have
I
listened
recognize
to
him,
him.
but I don't know his name. Yeah, I've watched him a few
But he
times.
mentioned something that made me think, wow, it like blew my mind and I never thought of it this way. But so there isn't like a medium balance here. You have music that is glorifying and that is edifying and that builds people up. But then you have music that promotes, sexual promiscuity,
Mm-hmm.
drugs, violence,
Yeah,
all of these things that are not positive, they're
sure.
negative.
Yeah.
And I think not even being um, a believer or non-believer, I think you could agree that violence and, you know, drug use, all of these things, heavy drug use, is not positive.
Right,
It's not a
right.
positive direction.
And has an impact on your mind if that's what you're listening to.
Yeah.
I think it makes it seem like it's not a big deal, or it kind of leads you into thinking those things are okay.
hmm So the guest on this podcast said that would be worshiping the demons behind it. And that kind of like blew my mind, right?
You don't think of it that way when
Mm-mm.
you're like, oh, this song's harmless.
But it's not like I'm
But it's
agreeing
not
with the
always.
things that are being said in the music.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we're not here to say, what artists to listen to, what songs to listen to, genres,
No.
anything like that. This isn't in the Bible specifically about music, what you should listen to, but it is something that is a sneaky tactic, I think.
Yeah. So I think you need to pay attention to what messaging is coming into your mind and what actions or thoughts of yours are flowing from that. So
Right.
if I'm listening to a song about cheating and then I get like suspicious of you over nothing, like just
Right.
stuff like that, it makes you think like, or, leave your partner and I'm listening and I'm like, oh, well, Dwayne doesn't do this, so I should leave. I'll be happier somewhere else. And that stuff is not
Yeah.
drawing me closer to Christ. It's putting negative thoughts in my head and making me think certain things about my husband, and
I just feel like I'm being
it's
attacked
not
again.
a good. I'm just trying to give
This is
examples.
the second
I'm sorry.
episode.
There's a lot. There's a lot more examples than that. Do you want me to think of something else?
No, it's fine.
I'm sorry.
But your examples always go to my husband.
I'm just saying things can get in your mind though and make you
I get it. Yeah.
think a certain way.
Well, even so in doing like a little bit of research for this podcast, I was looking up some studies with music. I think it was Brown University had a study where they looked at lyrics from the last couple of decades. I think they went back to the 60s. And they looked at what was the prominently used lyrics in music. And it was kind of boring. It was like the O's and la la la's and baby, 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 oh.
Justin Bieber.
Yeah,
From
so
the '60s.
everything that was in a Justin Bieber song was in every single genre.
Popular. Yeah.
Yeah. But what was really interesting is when they went into words that were only specifically used in certain decades. Like you didn't find them in any other decades or they were rarely used. So starting in the 90s is when we started seeing, and I love my 90s music.
Yeah.
I love my 90s and 2000s. It's so nostalgic for me.
I know. Those were the best times, obviously.
90s
So-
country will always be on my playlist, 90s grunge music.
Yes.
It's just so sad. I can't move on from it. We're like those old people who are like, back in our day, the music was
Those were the
so
best
good.
days.
But apparently in the 90s is when it started going down.
Yeah.
So it said in the 90s, the lyrics started showing more racial slurs, violent usage, drug use,
Yeah.
more sexualized lyrics. So it's like it was shifted, and I would say it's continued to go downhill
Oh, for
where
sure.
the majority of music now, I would say, you can't listen to without
Without hearing those things.
something negative in
Yeah.
there. It made me think too, is like when I was listening to, and I still listen to some Christian music, non-Christian music, whatever.
Yeah.
But when I would listen to music that had explicit lyrics, it kind of made me feel comfortable with using that kind of language anyway.
Right. Right.
There would be times that I would say a
Yeah.
swear word or something, and you'd be like, there's no reason to cuss. And I'd be
Right.
like, I didn't even cuss.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, you did. And I just did it without even thinking.
And that's what I mean. It just,
because it's just,
it seeps into your mind and you don't realize it, but then it makes those things seem less bad, you know, like they're more okay, that you just, you're like, oh, it's
and then
fine.
you
So I
do
just
you
kind of go with
do
it.
find like violent
Yeah.
tendencies. I mean, speaking of country music, and I still like country music today, but there was like that crazy girl era, right, where it was promoting being a crazy girl and being wild and
Yeah.
you know, taking the dirty rusty scissors and stabbing somebody. That was being praised and glorified, and so we had all these women just being like, I'm so crazy, you know. And should we have been promoting that? Should we have
Right,
been promoting
right.
that you can't handle certain,
Yeah.
I mean, of course I'm not saying that women always have to be put together. Men aren't always put together.
Right.
But we shouldn't promote things that are violent or being acceptable of the inability to gauge your emotions.
Yeah.
I
Just,
guess.
it's just unhealthy,
Yeah.
you know? So I just think whatever you're listening to, we're not here to judge or say like, oh, we're better, we're not listening to bad things, but just to pay attention to the lyrics that are coming into your brain.
Yeah, we have to be cautious of anything that we put into
For sure. Yeah.
our bodies. In the Bible, it says about your conscience. If you are good with whatever, you don't have anything on your conscience that's not weighing on it,
Yeah.
those aren't your convictions,
Yeah.
then that's something that you can wash your hands of it and you can move on. But if it is something that sparks
Right.
your spirit to kind of, hey, Joel, there's something here.
Right.
I don't feel comfortable with this. We're not,
Right.
you know,
Shouldn't be
listening
listening
to
to
this.
this.
Then I would say you really should pay attention to it.
Right.
In my own experience, I've had those types of situations.
Oh, yeah.
And like, it's so weird because it was gradual. I didn't even notice that I no longer really liked that music that I was listening to. And then there was a day where I'm sitting there with somebody and they're listening to the music that I used to love. And then I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like, this is gross. This is making
And
me
I
so
like,
gross.
I usually just listen to my playlist on Spotify, you know, and it's all Christian is what I'm listening to currently. But if I'll like put on the radio and I'm scanning through, I'm like, oh, 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 like I just,
Yeah.
nothing sounds great to me anymore.
And it doesn't even, my Christian playlist for working out is called Beast Mode Christian.
Oh, yeah.
And
we like a good beat still,
I
you
love,
know?
oh my gosh. If you haven't explored like the different genres in Christian music, there is more than just
There's
praise
so
and
much out
worship.
there. Yeah.
Right now I'm on like a country playlist in the mornings, and then I'll do a normal worship sesh when I'm just reading the Bible or something, and then
Yeah.
my workout with, and then there's Forrest Frank out there making
Oh,
these
yeah.
TikTok
There's so much
videos and
good
stuff,
stuff.
and I love them. But what I was gonna say is, even some of the artists on the Christian playlist didn't pass the vibe check, I guess. There was this one rapper who was just constantly a holier than thou attitude when he would rap, and he was pointing out other people, and this person's a sellout because they did this, and this person says this in their music but do this, and he's calling these people out. And we should make sure that people are not hypocritical in doing what they say.
Right.
However, to put it into your music, it just rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear you pulling people down.
Yeah. Just because something is labeled as Christian doesn't mean it's
No.
glorifying God. And if it's not labeled as Christian doesn't mean it's terrible, but just,
And you know, the reason that I like thought of removing this person from my playlist, it was just because when I would hear, like, there would be back songs with it, and like I could feel like an actual shift in my attitude, being
yeah.
angry
Yeah.
and thinking about other people and comparing myself to other
Yes.
people, and just being like, and like, it's just crazy how the devil does that.
And that's what I was trying to say earlier when I wasn't meaning to throw
I
you under the
know.
bus. I know, but I just want to
It's
clarify.
just funny that
But
this
the
is
songs affect the way you think you know.
It was the second time that you used your husband
I'm
as a
sorry.
doing.
You're just sitting
What
right
am I
here.
not
It's
doing?
easy to talk about you because you're sitting right
How
here.
about
That's
you
all.
bring it up at home instead of on a podcast? No, I'm just kidding. We're good. No, but
It changes your attitude and your thoughts, and you start thinking things that aren't true and that aren't from God.
Right.
So that's what you just need to be careful. No matter what you're listening to, no matter what you're watching, those are the messages you need to watch out for, you know?
So this is the where it gets crazier. Um, Matthew, after the sermon, we were talking, and he mentioned in Ezekiel how it talks about Lucifer,
Yeah.
and it talks about there being pipes and small harps
What's a small heart pull?
built within his being.
Yeah.
So that has concluded with some scholars that he was the worship leader
The
in
OG
heaven
worship leader.
before he
Yeah.
left. And so when he left, he still had that talent, but that talent was now tainted. And if you think about it, music, entertainment is the most consumed. I looked it up. Is the most consumed form of entertainment.
Yeah.
And it's because it's so simple to do.
Think everywhere that music is,
Like,
how many times you
You
listen to
can
it
add it
throughout
to your
the
day no matter what.
Yeah.
And it's added to our day even if we don't want it in our
It's
day.
in
Like
stores, it's in banks, it's playing the sheets while you're pumping gas, you know.
the
it's
elevator music.
elevator music.
Hobby Lobby's version of elevator music.
I enjoy Hobby Lobby.
I don't know.
and their
I like to play
music,
Guess
so,
That Tune
yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's going to seep into our minds. So we have to be head on a swivel type situation where we're like, okay, I need to be weary of what I'm surrounding myself
Yeah,
with. And
absolutely.
because we believe there are spiritual forces around us.
Yeah.
You can't see it, but there's a spiritual realm. And so we have to be cautious of what's coming in. So it was just interesting
Yeah.
that came up. Like,
It makes you think really about all this, you know.
yeah.
Where
And it's a theory. You don't have to believe
Yeah.
it or not. But I think we can agree that music can influence take exercising, for example. If I'm playing some slow worship music, I'm not running as fast. Like, my beats per minute is not going to be that high. But I've actually tested this because I want to listen to some Christian music then there's the beast mode, but then there's also remix where it's a little faster. So, and it was the same song. It was Oceans, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But then this one was like, like EDM, I guess they would call it. I ran faster.
Yeah.
So it has a physiological effect on us. I just think, why take the chance?
Right.
Listen to the spirit that God has given you to help you navigate this world. And music is one of those places we have to navigate because it is a strong force in our world.
Absolutely.
Another thing that I thought was interesting that I found is there have been artists who have said in interviews that they are paid to say certain lyrics, to say certain words, to promote violence or drug or a certain lifestyle. And again, it goes back to money.
Of course.
So they will make more money for doing this. The company and corporations will make more money. We want people to feel enslaved to a certain lifestyle.
Right.
Like, you need materials, right?
Right.
You don't, but that's what they want you to feel. I need more. I need more. I need to be powerful.
Yeah.
I need to be like these people who are singing. So I think that just shows you how strong music and worship is, that even the industry that is making it has come out and said, yes,
Yeah.
it's true.
So just if you're choosing between glorifying God and not glorifying God, you know, veer in that direction.
Yeah, so we just say, like, be cautious, listen to your own convictions.
Walk closely with the Spirit so that you can hear His convictions in your life, you know.
So, like, worship is very important.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a great worship team or want to have a great place to worship,
Well, Life Church Evansburg has a
Life
great worship team.
Church Evansburg, we're always happy to see new people. So come on out to Life Church Evansburg on Sunday. If you can't make it out on Sunday, we'll talk to you again on Wednesday. Bye, everyone.
Yeah, bye. Thanks, guys.